What is good, everybody? This is Brant with CPC Bodybuilding, bringing you highlights of the 2023 Men's Classic Physique Olympia Prejudging. We've got our first call out here hitting a front double bicep. Our top 6 tentatively. We've got Michael DeBoule starting on the far left, Urs Kalaczynski to his right, Chris Bumstead, the 4-time reigning Classic Physique Olympia champ, in the center left. Then we have Ramon Dino, center right, Terrence Ruffin, aka Rough Diesel, to Ramon's right, and on the far right we've got Breon Ansley hitting a back double bicep. And here I think where Chris really shines in the center left is with that back double bicep. A lot of people talk about Breon Ansley's back double bicep and Terrence Ruffin's back double bicep as being some of the best in the world. I think Chris is really close, if not there. I think especially in the lower half, if you look at his glutes and his hamstrings, the density, the separation that he brings there, from head to toe, Chris might actually have the best back double bicep, which is saying quite a lot because that was his weakest body part, probably his weakest pose, just 2 or 3 years ago. And Chris has made dramatic improvements year after year. This year, it's no different. I think his arms have improved. His biceps look a lot better now that they're healthy. He doesn't have that torn bicep. Here we got the favorite classic pose. And what you'll see here is Ramon and Chris holding down center stage there in that first call out. A very clear 1 and 2. You'll see them come back for a 2-man call out here at the end of the highlights. So they are a clear 1 and 2 after prejudging. Here we have kind of our bottom end of the first call out. So we've got tentatively our 3 through 8 right here. So we've got on the far left Mike Sommerfeld. Then we've got Wesley Vissers, Breon Ansley, Terrence Ruffin, Urs Kalaczynski, and Michael DeBoule. You can see Urs is getting moved into the center with Terrence Ruffin to be compared. So right now, Terrence and Urs battling for 3 and 4. You see Michael DeBoule getting moved in, Wesley getting moved out to the right in a front relaxed into a front double bicep. This is a fantastic pose, especially for Terrence Ruffin in the center right. You see him. I think he is extremely, extremely separated. This might be his best condition to date, really. And Urs, to me, what it looks like is he kind of went for a fuller look. He doesn't look quite as conditioned as he typically is. Now, that very well could be strategic because his condition is often so much more visible than a lot of other guys. And bringing in a fuller look might give him a slight edge. Now, I think he has to stick to his game and play that condition having seen a fuller look, because what you're going to see here in a bit is Urs might actually be overtaken by Terrence this year. Now we've got that back double bicep. And here what you're going to notice is the difference between Terrence and Urs is the arms, that top line. I still believe Urs needs to bring his biceps up in order to really make that leap into the top 3, top 2. Ab and thigh here. And the guy's waiting for Big Steve to instruct them what to do. Now another. We've got favorite classic pose. Urs with that teacup, Terrence with that classic side tricep. And what you're going to see here, what I was alluding to earlier, Terrence gets moved out of the center here. And what this tells me is that Terrence is third in the judges' eyes. And what they want to see now is Breon compared with Urs. So that's why Breon gets moved in, Terrence gets moved out. So they've got Terrence in third tentatively, and they're comparing Breon and Urs for 4th and 5th place respectively. And what I would say here is I think Breon is probably a bit sharper than Urs. He looks more conditioned, more separated. You can see the lines, and that could be muscle maturity. But if you look in this side shot, that side chest, you're going to notice, even though the light is not on Breon, Urs has a little bit better lighting because he's more in the center here. You can see more detailed separations and a little bit more striations in the lower body for Breon. And that back shot is just fantastic. Breon has one of, if not the best back double, like I was alluding to earlier. Ab and thigh. Now let's talk about Michael DeBoule. How about Michael DeBoule moving up quite a few spots? Now, granted, they will still check these guys out and have them in another call out or two at finals. But I think what we're going to see is Michael DeBoule moving up into that top 6 this year after placing 10th last year. So a big jump. Now, here is what we've been waiting for, the 2-man call out with Chris and Ramon. We saw this last year, and what we're going to see again is both of these guys have improved in some way or another. Now, I would say that what we saw from Chris was improvement in the arms, and to me, Ramon looks better in the lats. Those are two things that both of those guys really needed to bring up. So Chris needed to bring his arms up. Ramon really needed to bring the lats up to match his arms. So really just the inverse of one another. They needed to bring up complementary body parts. And that back double bicep, Chris just takes that hand down for me. Ab and thigh coming up. And what you're going to see here is both of these guys have fantastic vacuums, great V-tapers, the tiny waist complemented with wide sweeping lats and big quads that kick out that hourglass type of look. But what really differentiates Chris from Ramon is not necessarily size, but it is two things. It's detail. You're going to notice that Chris has crisper lines, more separations, and I think especially in the back double bicep, you're going to see that Chris is just thicker through the torso, thicker through the back than Ramon is. Ramon has a great top line in terms of deltoids and arms. You could even argue that Ramon might have better arms and delts than Chris, especially in the side shots. But in the back shot, I think Chris really holds his own and overpowers Ramon. That back shot is hands down Chris. Ab and thigh here, I would give to Chris as well because his quads just look more separated. Favorite classic pose is really a toss-up, but I really love the teacup from Chris. It really accentuates his strengths with the small waist, the huge lats, the great quads. I would probably give Chris every single pose, maybe with the exception of the front double bicep, and I think Chris is going to take his 5th consecutive Classic Olympia title here. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.